Thank you for joining us to discover the process for calibrating your ATC VBUS tank monitoring systems with pressure sensors. This training is focused on the Newmar midline of motorhomes, such as the Dutch Star and Bay Star models. On the screen, we have a view of the VBUS LCD control panel home screen. Some of the options may be different than your screen, but these are just that, options. You will need to select the HVAC icon at the bottom of the screen to continue. Once you are on the HVAC screen, you will need to select the Setup button on the left-hand side of the screen. Once you're on the HVAC setup screen, touch the word AC. It is a hidden button for accessing the LCD setup features of the screen. This will bring you to the LCD setup menu. Never touch any of the model options on the right-hand side. These options are only to set the base settings for the factory during the initial build of your motorhome and will eliminate any coach-specific settings. This could result in the failure of functions on your motorhome and require a trip to a Newmar certified service center. Select the blue Setup button at the bottom of the page to continue. Once into the setup, you will need to select the Sensor Setup button on the left-hand side. For 2018 coaches, you will set Empty and Full from this screen. You will empty the tank and set Empty. You will then fill the tank to 95% of the stated tank capacity, then press the Full button. If the sensor is functioning properly and accepts the calibration set point, the button will turn green. At that point, you can select Done and exit the setup. If this does not happen, contact our tech support for further assistance at 574-218-7388. For coaches 2019 and newer, you have the option for greater clarity of the issue by pressing the Sensor Pad Read button. This screen will tell you what each section of the strip sensor is reading or the pressure sensor is reading. By selecting the tank name, you can go to the calibration screen. We will select the fresh tank by pressing the word Fresh. For coaches 2020 and newer, you can perform a factory reset on the sensor strip or TSPSI interface from this screen to try to correct a miscalibrated sensor strip or pressure sensor interface. After performing a factory reset, it is required to perform a system power cycle by turning off the house battery disconnect or removing and reinstalling the 12-gauge yellow wire at the top of the TMSC. This option is not available on 2019 coaches, and this screen is not available on 2018 coaches. When calibrating a tank sensor, you must set Empty, then set Full. Failure to set both in order will result in an error in tank reading. Now let's discuss the readings on this screen as they pertain to a pressure sensor. If your coach is equipped with strip sensors, this information is not applicable and will be found in a different video. We will start with the numbers under 1 and 0. These represent a preset reading of Empty. By default, this should show as 1-00 or 100. The numbers under the 5 and 4 represent the preset reading of Full. Typically, this number is between 200 and 300, depending on the height of your particular tank. The numbers under 3 and 2 represent the current sensor reading for the pressure sensor. This number should always be between the empty and full set points. Let's walk through the calibration process. These are typical numbers expected for an empty fresh water tank. You will start the process by ensuring the tank is empty and then pressing the Empty button on the screen. If this is successful, the numbers under 3 and 2 will change to mirror the numbers under 1 and 0. Then proceed to fill the tank to 95% of capacity. For a typical 105-gallon freshwater tank, that will be 98 gallons. It is strongly recommended to use a flow meter to gauge the amount of water being added for accuracy when setting full. Once you have filled the tank to 95% of capacity, you will see a different number under the 3 and 2. By selecting the Full button, the numbers beneath the 5 and 4 will change to mirror the numbers in the 3 and 2. This will indicate a successful calibration. This concludes our instructions for calibrating your ATC VBUS tank monitoring systems with pressure sensors. Thank you.